bum, 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 bum. It's a cruel world out there. It's hard to know who to trust. Seems like around every corner there's another hoaxster, jokester, or cloakster. In the end, one thing I've learned is the only person you can trust is yourself. But don't take my word for it. See for yourself with Word Hoax, the game of verbal cloaks, jokes, and master strokes. It'll make you lie to your mama, but don't worry, she's probably not playing this round. Here's your host, Tom Sherman. Wow, thank you, Mr. Announcer. Thank you to the internet for tuning into the live stream of our Word Hoax public tournament. And of course, many thanks to our stable of Word Hoax contestants waiting backstage. I'm your host, Tom Sherman. We run this public tournament every Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, mostly because it's fun and we don't want to do actual work, but also so we can give out some sweet NFT prizes. So as our players start filtering in, let's remind the folks what everyone's playing for this morning, besides, of course, fame and glory, and that's one of these, an IOU NFT. This unique 1 out of 10,000 NFT is actually an IOU for a future NFT from an upcoming drop from Story Squad. Current estimated cash value of the IOU NFT is $100 US. And can't show the public any of the renderings so far, but I'm telling you, these NFTs are looking pretty awesome, and you're going to want one, so you should be playing here today like some of our players we've got. Speaking of our players that we've got backstage, let's just start bringing them on and seeing what they're talking about. First, leader of the week currently, leader of the month currently, leader of the season currently, Mr. Sackville Baggins.
It feels so strange. It feels strange to have all those epithets hurled at you when you feel so inadequate deep inside your soul.
Well, don't worry. You were inadequate yesterday because you lost.
Terribly. I just 3-point
margin.
I just show up.
That's a fact. Well, good luck to you for showing up today. Let's see how that strategy pays off. Also joining us today, Ms. Tasha. Tasha also, right there in the week, only down by 1 point. Tough go yesterday, but brand new ball game today.
I got it today, and I'm bringing in some backup. Probably won't come in today, but I'm gonna actually get my mama on here.
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
The secret, the secret weapon. Calling your mom. Hey, I'm going to have to check the rule books, but we don't have a rule book. So I think that's fair game.
Interpersonal steroids.
I think she's just going to join. We'll see.
Interesting. Also, so here we are, also 1 point behind the lead of the week. Harrison winning yesterday. How are you feeling today? How are you going to, move forward?
I ate a lot of ice cream last night, and I can feel the fog in my brain.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. So the old carbo load didn't quite work the way it was supposed to, huh?
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Also joining us today, Alphabot, an AI algorithm programmed to win NFTs away from humans. So we'll see how that works out for all of our players as well. Let me see.
Those clippers on there, they look sharp.
The clippers do look sharp. They've been known to cut wires, especially Ava Timms, who is not joining us today, oddly enough, probably due to Alphabot's shenanigans. That's all I can assume. So let's see. We've got the link here in the chat for all of our players. Let's remind the folks out there how they're going to play. I'm going to read a word, a person's name, or a movie title, and then you'll have a set time limit to supply a trick definition for the word that sounds plausible enough the other players might guess that definition. So no Googling is allowed, and keep it PG-13. We are a family show here, folks. Once time expires, we'll read this set of fake definitions along with the real one as well, and then guess around the room. You'll get points if other players pick your fake definition or if you select the correct definition. You can also pick your own definition in an attempt to sway the opinion of other players. However, you won't receive a point for your own vote. So round 1, we define a word. Round 2, we enter a biography. And then round 3, we write the plot of a movie title. After that, we crown the champion of the day, update the running leaderboard accordingly, and pass out some NFTs, which today there's a daily NFT on the line as well as the weekly. So with that,
hey, I need my lobby code's not working.
All right, let me refresh the lobby codes all around, and I'll drop a new link. Was wondering why there was all right, lobby code now is KYBP. KYBP, new link in the chat, and let's look at the scoreboard real quick. So again, Sackville Baggins up by 1 on the week. These are the top 3 players here in Word Hoax can play these days. And also, I want to stress Alphabot. 1 point this week, 1 point yesterday. That jumped up Alphabot from one of the 12 positions into number 7. So Alphabot moving up the ranks rapidly here. Rookie of the year, possibly rookie of the season. So all right, KYBP is the lobby code, and we've got 3 of our 4 players in. Looks like Alphabot is being a little slow here, and that's fine. I mean, who cares? It's just a robot, right? So let's see. All right, everybody's in, and now we've got a word. What is the word going to be? Yes, that is the word. And 1, 2, 3, still waiting on Alphabot into the game. And that's fine. All right, the word is going to be bongong. Bongong is the word. I'm putting 70 seconds on the clock, and bongong is the word. Your time starts now. What does bongong mean? Could mean anything. Think of NFTs like keys to the future. Right now, as humans, we interact with businesses and organizations much like ants might their queen, slaving away day in and day out for resources to give to the queen so that she may survive. NFTs turn this one-directional relationship into a community partnership. Owning NFTs of organizations will allow those owners special perks like early access to future products, exclusive content behind paywalls, and access to the inner community. Not only that, but NFTs are transferable, allowing owners to sell at a premium, which in turn appreciate all other NFTs held by community members. So NFTs are part art, part online identity, part admission to a virtual country club, part crypto speculation, part generational wealth, and all real, baby. All right, let's see. We've got 3 of our 4 contestants in. Harrison is in under the wire. Look at that. All right, bongong is the word. Let's read these definitions. Number 1, Willow's childhood pet. Number 2, ceremonial Filipino wedding invitation. Number 3, bongong is a term used by the orcs of the Imperium to describe a particular type of orc. Bongong are a caste of orc that have been genetically modified to resemble a particular alien species. Bongong are used as slaves and treated as such. Number 4, an Australian moth, where the hibernating adults were eaten by the Aborigines. Or number 5, ancient Chinese etymology for a medium-sized wooden ship used for merchants. So those are your options here for bongong. Number 1, Willow's childhood pet. Number 2, ceremonial Filipino wedding invitation. Number 3, bongong is a term used by the orcs of the Imperium to describe a particular type of orc. Bongong are a caste of orc that have been genetically modified to resemble a particular alien species. Bongong are used as slaves and treated as such. Number 4, an Australian moth, where the hibernating adults were eaten by the Aborigines. And then number 5, ancient Chinese etymology for a medium-sized wooden ship used for merchants. So those are your options there. Interesting stuff. A lot of definitions to work with. And Sackville Baggins, you have the honors here. What is going through your mind right now?
A lot. I'm not sure. I have no idea. I think I'm going to go with the genetically modified orcs.
You're going with the genetically modified orcs. Any particular reason why that one is sticking out in your brain here?
It's just the most realized vision.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. The most realized vision, the orcs. So Tasha, or no, Harrison, I guess, having won the day yesterday, you're technically in second place over Tasha.
Sackville's a bad. That's a bad logic. On all of these definitions, they've never been fictional.
For the definition of a word.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're staying away from number 3.
So I don't think it's orcs. And I don't think it's Willow's friend. But I do like the Willow reference. Big Willow fan. And then Filipino wedding invitation sounds good to me. I like that one. And I like the moth and the wooden ship.
So that's a lot of choices, but you only have one to pick. So what's it going to be?
I'm going to go with the
shot clock as enacted. One of the only people in Word Hoax history to have a shot clock, and that is Harrison, just breaking boundaries left and right.
I'm going to go with the Filipino wedding invitation.
Going with a Filipino wedding invitation. Let's see, which one was that? That was number 2, a ceremonial Filipino wedding invitation. Interesting choice there. Tasha, now it falls to you. What's going through your mind right now? Is Harrison or Baggins onto anything in particular, or are they way off base?
That's a great question. I have seen fictional things in the answers, though I don't know if that was in the first round that we're in right now or not. So I think I'm actually going to go with Bagong being based on Chinese etymology, that one.
Ancient Chinese etymology for a medium-sized wooden ship used for merchants. Interesting. Zagging from Baggins and Harrison. And then Alphabot submitting answer number 4 as their guess because they like the number 4. So an Australian moth where the hibernating adults were eaten by the Aborigines. So those were the guesses all around. Let's see, honorable mentions to Tasha with Willow's childhood pet, which although Harrison enjoyed, not quite taking the cake there. Meanwhile, some getting some votes. Harrison writing ancient Chinese etymology for a medium-sized wooden ship used for merchants, which Tasha voted for. Meanwhile, Harrison giving a point to Baggins with a ceremonial Filipino wedding invitation. Although Alphabot then taking a point right back from Baggins with Bongong is a term used by the orcs of the Imperium to describe a particular type of orc. Bongong are a caste of orc that have been genetically modified to resemble a particular alien species. Bongong are used as slaves and are treated as such, which Baggins thought was real, but not at all. And then the real definition from which Alphabot picked is an Australian moth where the hibernating adults were eaten by the Aborigines. So that's the real term. looks like Alphabot is out to a strong start here, leading the day with 2 points over Harrison and Baggins. Harrison, you fell right into Baggins' trap too, it seemed.
You know what? I was thinking Baggins was talking about orcs. So I thought he was like trying to jockey for his own, poorly though.
Interesting. So the head games.
He's more of an orc guy.
How do you respond to that, Sackville? You seem very.
It's right within arm's reach. Yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
That is a well-worn copy. And so here's some bongongs on the screen. Delicious. So, all right. So that's that. Let's go to round 2 and see what we're doing here. This one is where we pick a biography and we go through that. So let me load up the biography for everything in here. So who are we going to define? And that is the one. Just throw that in. All right, I'm putting, let's see, 85 seconds on the clock here. The person's name that you're going to define is Clarence Saunders. Clarence Saunders is the name, and the game starts right now. 85 seconds to tell us who that person might be. Look, I know what you're thinking. How do I play this game? Get in on these NFTs. Quit my corporate job. Well, let me tell you, it's easy. We run 2 competitions daily. Word Hoax, which you're currently watching, and Clash of the Pencils, a 1-page story contest where the internet public picks the winner each night. Both are a quick creative workout to get your mind right during the day, not to mention the fame, glory, and NFTs. If you're interested in playing either of these games, reach out to me, Tom Sherman, in one of the following ways. On social media, send me a DM in Twitter at ShermQ5 or at Story Squad HQ. Give us both a follow while you're there. If you're watching on the Facebook stream, send me a message. Other contact methods include any other way you can think of reaching me, up to but not exclusively playing 6 Degrees of Tom Sherman, smoke signals, and of course, skywriting. All right, let's see. Everybody's in. It was Sackville Baggins under the wire here, but got it in a couple seconds before. Let's read these definitions. Clarence Saunders. Number 1, the first person to ever dive below 2,000 feet in the Atlantic Ocean. Number 2, founder of Piggly Wiggly. Number 3, was the first black man to be elected mayor of a major city in the United States. Number 4, the bane of high school juniors the world over, this American Secretary of Education under Jimmy Carter championed the widespread adoption of the SAT. And number 5, in 1916, opened the first modern grocery store concept, a Piggly Wiggly, in Memphis, Tennessee. So those are your options for Clarence Saunders. Number 1, the first person to ever dive below 2,000 feet in the Atlantic Ocean. Number 2, founder of the Piggly Wiggly. Number 3, was the first black man to be elected mayor of a major city in the United States. Number 4, the bane of high school juniors the world over, this American Secretary of Education under Jimmy Carter championed the widespread adoption of the SAT. And number 5, in 1916, opened the first modern grocery store concept, a Piggly Wiggly, in Memphis, Tennessee. So those are your options for Clarence Saunders. And then it is Alphabot's turn to pick first, submitting guest number 1. And let's see, no particular reasoning in general. The first person to ever dive below 2,000 feet in the Atlantic Ocean. Interesting start here from Alphabot. And then let's see, it defaults to Harrison, I believe, having won the day yesterday, tied for second here with Baggins. What's your thoughts?
I'll do the longer Piggly Wiggly answer.
The longer Piggly Wiggly answer. Let's see. That was number 5. In 1916,
founded the modern grocery store.
Modern grocery store concept, the Piggly Wiggly in Memphis, Tennessee. It was it these extra details over the first Piggly Wiggly answer? And do you know that those details are right? I mean, maybe the Piggly Wiggly was not in Memphis, and that was just an extra.
It's a tough one. We'll have to discuss afterwards.
Interesting. Put a pin in that for sure. Baggins, over to you here. What's your thoughts?
I'm really interested in Harrison not revealing his reasoning, which makes me think he is being genuine and earnest. I'm going to follow in his wake. 5.
Wow, following Harrison's wake due to what seems to be a lack of lying just by not revealing any strategy whatsoever. Interesting.
Lack of lying.
Yeah. Tasha, what's your thoughts?
I'm going to go with the first Piggly Wiggly, the shorter one.
Going with the shorter Piggly Wiggly, zagging while Baggins and Harrison are zigging. Particular reasoning why at all, or whatnot?
Adjacent. My decision has to do with the bot, to be honest.
Interesting. Thinking the bot might be able to throw in these zanier details and possibly catch some people off guard.
Including me, so we'll see.
Right. You never know. We'll submit the guesses and see what's happening. Honorable mentions to Baggins with the bane of high school juniors the world over. This American Secretary of Education under Jimmy Carter championed the widespread adoption of the SAT. Interesting bio. I think you might have lost people with juniors the world over. That first clause, really, I don't know, might have took you down there. Alphabot writing was the first black man to be elected mayor of a major city in the United States, which no one really played with at all. Alphabot selecting Tasha's with the first person to dive below 2,000 feet in the Atlantic Ocean. And let's see, Harrison also getting a vote from Tasha with writing founder of the Piggly Wiggly. And then that means Harrison and Baggins both were able to get the real definition. Clarence Saunders did in 1916 open the first modern grocery store concept, a Piggly Wiggly, in Memphis, Tennessee. So let's see, Harrison now jumping into first place here with 3 points. Baggins with 2, Alphabot with 2, Tasha with 1. Big round there for you, Harrison. It seems like you knew who Clarence Saunders was.
Clarence Saunders is a Virginia native.
Wow.
And I also get my subscription. I get one of my prescriptions, from the Piggly Wiggly down here in Louisiana.
Interesting. So I've
Googled
natives?
this a couple times, and I think there's some other interesting stuff that I read about him. But I just knew that because I literally looked this up not that long ago.
Who the founder of the Piggly Wiggly was?
Yeah, just because I thought it was such a gross name.
It is a weird name.
There's a book I read. I read a book. I forget what it's called. Something about Piggly Wiggly, but they made a movie and Dave Matthews stars in it. So that's another random fact.
That is a random fact.
Dave Matthews also a
Virginian
as well.
You know all Virginia natives? Is that what you're saying? You have
I got a pretty wide swath of Virginia native history going on. I know Tom Sherman's a Virginia native.
That is a fact. Put me on the list. That's as long as it's a good list, which Virginia natives it is. Piggly Wiggly. This is the dude was obsessed with automation. He spent years being a clock grocery. So what grocery stores were originally were you'd go up to the counter and say, "Hey, I want this, that, and the other," and then the grocer would go back in the back and pack up all the stuff and bring it to you. And Clarence Saunders said, "Hey, no,
like a pharmacy."
Yeah, like a pharmacy, exactly. And so Clarence Saunders decided, no, we're just going to corral people like sheep or cattle through the stalls and display all the products right in front of them. And they'll be able to pick it up. And so then he actually patented that concept, the concept of a grocery store as we know it. And then at some point lost all his money in the stock market, went broke, and destitute. So
look at those turnstiles. Look at those turnstiles to get it. It's like an amusement park line.
Right?
The cattle.
Wait, he ended up poor?
Yeah, he ended up poor. He let's see, a bunch of like the big names of like the stock, because this was like right around the crash, the stock market crash. So a lot of those big old money names, they like were shorting his stock. So what he did is he bought up as much of the stock as he could, and then kind of like cornered the market and was supposed to get a big old payday from all these people. But then the Dow Jones or the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, they were like, oh, whoa, you can't do that. So they gave the short sellers a little extra time to cover, and they did. And so then he went broke, and then he like kind of he just like kept trying to patent more automated store concepts, but they didn't take quite as well as this. There was one where you had a little key and you had to put the key in.
You know so much about this?
Because well, I do a lot of research. Picking
NFTs are that key, Tom. NFTs are that key.
Clarence Saunders would have loved NFTs. That is a fact. I'm almost certain of it. So, whew. All right.
Well, I don't understand. So he lost.
He
lost everything.
It was a classic American success story. Hit it big, made the money. He
But
had
Piggly
he built like a mansion that was
big
like
thing,
pink
aren't
in
they?
Memphis, like a giant pink mansion, and he like put that up to buy all the stock back, and then so he lost it.
Dude,
lost it big
but
time.
Piggly Wigglies are still a thing.
Yeah. Oh, and he picked that name just because it was a weird name. He was like, yeah, people will remember that name.
It's memorably weird. It still works.
Sure is.
Yeah, it's gross. But I really don't want to get my prescription from there. But I like, even with my insurance, it's like, it's just a whole thing. It's a disaster. But hold on. But people still go to Piggly Wigglies.
Well, yeah, Piggly Wigglies, like the stock didn't go, like the company didn't die. It's just he lost because he loaned out he took out loans from a bunch of Southern businessmen and banks in order to buy up all this stock that was getting shorted by everybody else. So he was on the hook personally for a lot of this debt. And then when the market, when they didn't have to cover their short sales, and they had that extra time to come up with the money, then that's when, other people holding the stock sold it. So the price crashed, or it dipped low enough that they were able to cover it. And then he wasn't able to cover the loans that he took out to buy that stock. Capitalism.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He got
All right. That's cool. I just didn't. That's insane.
It's, and that's what you can expect.
Sorry to derail here.
On Word Hoax. No, Word Hoax is all about the insane, and that's why we play, I think. Otherwise, let me know. 99 seconds on the clock. We're going to define a movie title. So I'm going to give you a title of a movie, and then you have 99 seconds to come up with the plot for that movie. And the movie's name is Highballin'. Highballin' is the movie name. You've got 99 seconds to write out that plot starting now. What could that movie be about? I don't know what to say, really. When you get old in life, you find out life is this game of words. I mean, the difference between winning and losing here is so small. One adjective too late or too early, you don't quite describe it. One plot line too slow, too fast, you don't hook your readers. The words we need are everywhere around us. They're in every story, every setting, every sentence. On this app, we fight for each word. On this app, we tear our rough drafts to pieces for that word. We claw with our fingernails for that word. Because we know when we add up all those words, that's going to make the difference between winning and losing, between living and dying. And that's what living is. The 6 words in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look into the mirror, look into your eyes. And I think you're going to see an author willing to go get that word with you. That's Clash of the Pencils, folks. That's all it is. Ten seconds left. Baggins and Harrison not yet submitting for highballing plot of a movie title. 3, 2, 1. Wow.
Oh no!
You blew it.
Give us a second. I'm ready. Give us a second.
Oh my God, no way.
You should give
I
us
had the best
warning
one.
or
Too.
10
It
seconds.
was so fucking good.
Well, I'll leave it up to Tasha.
Sorry.
Tasha, should I let these 2 jokers in or not?
What?
You're on mute. I'm letting Tasha decide. Tasha's the
Oh,
human in the room
jeez.
here. Should I let Baggins and Harris? You're on mute. I can't hear your opinion. You're still on mute. Yes. All right. 20 seconds. All right. We'll give you guys press some enters here. Harrison is in. Baggins is taking the whole 20 seconds.
Wow.
Give him an inch and he'll take a mile. He says he's not good at the game, and yet he'll beg for 20 seconds and take it all. And still not get in. And still not get in. Unbelievable.
Could I have 20 more seconds? It's
No,
really
you
important
cannot.
that I get this submitted and read on the air. It's
You
some of my
said-
best work.
Oh, my gosh. You have 5 seconds, and then I'm clicking this blue button. 2.
Wait.
One.
I need
Oh.
to, one letter. Wait, it's like really hard to use this interface.
Baggins.
What are you
No,
doing?
no, it's done.
All right, Baggins. Unbelievable. Highballing
Thank
is
you.
the movie title. Here are your options. Number 1, in the mean streets of LA, a superstar basketball star has to get his life in order with mommy issues and some troublesome teammates joining the league. When he finds himself close to losing it all, money needs talking about. Number 2, this
That's
1983 blaxploitation classic opened with little fanfare but became a lasting cult classic in the years since, starring James Williams and Denzel Washington. Number 3, 2 truck drivers fight off thugs who have been hired to drive them out of business. Number 4, the original name of the movie 9 Mile. Number 5, this 1965 comedy starring Peter Sellers puts Manhattan postman, forgets a special delivery, and late one night wanders into the wrong Fifth Avenue penthouse where he gets ensnared into high society socialite hijinks. So those are your options for highballing. Number 1, in the mean streets of LA, a superstar basketball star has to get his life in order with mommy issues and some troublesome teammates joining the league. When he finds himself close to losing it all, the money needs talking about. Number 2, this 1983 blaxploitation classic opened with little fanfare but became a lasting cult classic in the years since, starring James Williams and Denzel Washington. Number 3, 2 truck drivers fight off thugs who've been hired to drive them out of business. Number 4, the original name of the movie 9 Mile. And number 5, this 1965 comedy starring Peter Sellers puts Manhattan postman, forgets a special delivery, and late one night wanders into the wrong Fifth Avenue penthouse where he gets ensnared into high society socialite hijinks. All right, those are your options for highballing. Let's see. Harrison currently in command of the day. Lot of stuff here. What are you going to pick, and is that what you would watch on movie night?
The last one about, I think you said Peter Sellers.
Mm-hmm. That's your pick?
No.
Oh.
I just want to say, I think it might be only because it's so long, and Sackville had so long, and he said it was his best work.
So you're calling out number 5 as
So I
Sackville.
think that's a Sackville
the old Sackville
magnum
special.
opus, maybe.
Yeah. Interesting. Fair enough. So you're not
No,
voting
but
for that.
I think but I think the first one sounds good. What was 3?
Number 3 was 2 truck drivers fight off thugs who've been hired to drive them out of business.
2's blaxploitation.
That is correct. A blaxploitation classic with little fanfare but became a lasting cult classic in the years since, starring James Williams and Denzel Washington. All right, you're on the clock.
I'll
You've
go
got
with Peter Sellers.
number 5, calling it out as Baggins's and then picking it. Harrison going with the 1965 classic starring Peter Sellers, puts Manhattan Postman forgets a special delivery and late one night wanders into the wrong 5th Avenue penthouse where he gets ensnared into high society socialite hijinks. Baggins, what say you here? Are you going to pick number 5 as well? And is that what you would watch on movie night?
I would definitely watch that on movie night. I'm going with, but I wrote it and I got Harrison's vote, and I'm really happy.
Oh, wow.
And Alphabot can't hear this, and I'll let Tasha know. I just want to gloat. I did it.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Rubbing
go.
salt into Harrison's
I'm
wounds.
gonna go with number 1.
Going with number 1. In the mean streets of LA, a superstar basketball star has to get his life in order with mommy issues and some troublesome teammates joining the league. When he finds himself close to losing it all, money needs talking about.
So we know Alphabot can't hear.
That is a fact. Alphabot does not have auditory capabilities yet,
Okay.
that we know of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know.
Because I was asking that yesterday. That was basically the gist of my question, because I was going to talk about some
strategy
things
that you didn't want Alphabot
I
to
wanted
pick up
to
on.
do that as well, but
Maybe we shouldn't reveal that. Why not?
no, it's good because it's supposed to, well, I don't know. It's tough because like a lot of the game is sort of just trying to figure out
What the game is.
reasoning, maybe.
That is a fact. Tasha, you're here up on the board. What are you picking? Is that what you would watch on movie night?
So
Oh,
I'm
wait,
just
actually-
totally blown away.
Yeah, sorry,
What's
go
that?
on. It's technically Alphabot's pick, but if you want to
Oh.
go first or I'm sorry.
Alphabot can go. Alphabot can go. I don't want to cut in front of Alphabot. That would.
Yeah,
be bad.
that is just poor hosting on my part. Alphabot picking number 2, and the reasoning is it's seen number 2 before and it likes it. That was a 1983 blaxploitation classic, opened with little fanfare but became a lasting cult classic in the years since, starring James Williams and Denzel Washington. So interesting move there by Alphabot. And so now, Tasha, it is your turn. And what's happening?
You know, none of these movies are the movie I'd watch. None of them sound very interesting. But I think I will follow the robot on this one.
Following the robot with the 1983 blaxploitation classic that opened with little fanfare but became a cult classic in the years since, starring James Williams and Denzel Washington. So the guesses are in. Let's see what's happening. Tasha getting an honorable mention with the original name of the movie 9 Mile. Not getting a vote, but nonetheless, valiant effort. Baggins getting Harrison's vote. We already knew this. The 1965 comedy with Peter Sellers, and that is why it was Baggins's best work, because it finally got Harrison's vote. Meanwhile, Baggins giving his vote to Alphabot with In the Mean Streets of LA, a superstar basketball star has to get his life in order with mommy issues and some troublesome teammates joining the league. When he finds himself close to losing it all, the money needs talking about. Gripping movie.
Good. It's so good.
Yet fake.
That's a good one.
Interestingly enough. And then Harrison getting 2 points this round
Whoa,
from Alphabot
incredible.
and Tasha with this 1983 blaxploitation classic, opened with little fanfare but became a cult classic. So kudos to Harrison there. And then highballing, the real answer was 2 truck drivers fight off thugs who've been hired to drive them out of business. It's 1979. Let me make sure the sound is on.
You know, it takes a special kind of guy to push them big old 18-wheelers down the highway. But they're a tough breed, them dudes. They make a 900-mile run in a blizzard look like a trip to church. Hi, this is Jerry Reed. We just finished shooting a motion picture about some of these good old boys. And before we got through with the ride, well, it got wilder than a can of crap. I play Iron Duke Borton. You can't miss me. I'm the one on the screen with the cab over face. Whoa, what's that extra $50? What is that?
That's for a hurry-up on a load.
You take that extra 50 and you stick it up where the sun don't shine. And if I wasn't in such a hurry, I'd stick around and assist you. Now, Peter Ponder's my buddy. We call him Rain.
This is the worst movie that's ever been
I
made.
like his fancy boots. And pretty little Helen Shaver is pickup. She's the one you boys got to watch. Mm-hmm. I told you about that little garden, didn't I?
What is happening?
Now, Peter and I play a couple of dudes who had a good thing going once, and we kind of get together again. Best I can remember, me and you used to have a good time. You go take one more ride with the old dude. But the way things are now, a fella get himself killed.
Well, I tried to be the kind of a gal you'd love to.
Excuse me, dance.
No. Wait a minute.
Didn't need to go hunting for no trouble. We got engraved invitations.
Breaker 19, you got down Duke on a flight from a 1033. I'm being shot at with real bullets. See if you can get on that radio and help me find a bear. A bunch of bears. Hell, I can use the Air Force.
Look out, I'll take care of you, Spitz.
Take her, get down in the sink. Your mama's gonna kill me now. Oh, me, why didn't I have a girl?
I can bring you to your knees, boy. That
Give
don't
one
mean
for the
that
old
you
dude.
wrong.
Give one for the old dude.
Find some backbone. When your body's up against the wall, they may stand up there against you. You can
that fool.
When it gets down and dirty, that's when you gotta trust your gut. Cause when you're so shift over to the fast lane, brother and sister, and see this story of two throttle jockeys who get into it up to their eyeballs and highballing from American International.
I have no words. I feel like I now understand where David Lynch got all of his source material.
I mean, I'm on the Wikipedia. The movie was described as a modern day Western with trucks instead of horses.
Seems accurate.
The voiceover.
Yeah.
The flaming narrator, that Wonder Years voiceover.
I would just watch it for
These
the
were just
trucker
a couple
talk.
of guys that had a good thing going and get back together.
The Breaker 19, this is Duke. We got a couple, catamarans on my tail. Like, I love that.
Firing
talk,
real bullets. Real bullets.
Real bullets. Yeah, it's not none of these fake bullets.
This is
I also
a
enjoyed
Canadian
them putting
movie.
sticks of dynamite in the cars and just pushing them off the
The
trailer.
whole premise of it is absolutely beguiling. At first, I was really questioning what was happening because it felt like we were just watching a supply chain, like a really old fashioned. I would assist you. The way he said assist, I have never heard that pronounced with that emphasis before. And I was like, okay, we're doing the supply chain piece, so that doesn't get talked about a lot. And then everything started exploding. It's like Jerry Bruckheimer would be like, yeah.
That's what happens when you don't accept that $50 for the for the fast load. People get angry.
That there was some director or writer or whatever had some vision and no one said no the entire time, and I take inspiration from that, being able to get that made.
That's a fact.
I don't know. It doesn't say how much it made.
No,
But
really?
it says it cost $2 million to make. I mean, Peter Fonda's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Canadian. This is a Canadian movie too.
Yeah. Yeah. This feels like it went outside of the system. To get made. It feels-
way outside.
Yeah.
Way outside the system there. No, but yeah, I mean, I would watch it. Although I'd watch a lot of the movies that were defined, especially Alphabots. The Mean Streets of LA, a superstar basketball star. That's, you know,
Superstar basketball star was kind of amazing, and the wording of the last line also made me really like delighted. It was like, instead of like it was like money. It put it in the passive voice, like money
right.
talked about.
Right. The when he finds himself close to losing it all, money needs talking about.
Money needs to, not money talks. Money
No,
needs talking about.
It needs to be talked about. So let's take a look at our final scoreboard here. And Harrison winning the day here off that last round, getting 5 points for the day. And I think that's going to make the winner of the week here, too. That is a fact.
Showing
9
up
points
twice.
to Sackville's 8.
Getting 2. Woo.
Wow, by a single thin point. So congratulations on multiple levels.
Well, Tasha hooked me with a lot of points this week.
You're welcome.
I got you a couple times. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Well, you know, you did show up on Tuesday and just give Tasha a point. So, you know, one hand scratches the other.
I'm gonna out myself a little bit with this one. When those movie ones, I always inject random characters and like things like that, but that's usually not what I don't put any like plot in there.
Mm-hmm.
When actually the question is a plot. So like
you normally describe the
realizing
opening.
I was doing stuff like that when I was like, I did like the last one. I said like Ed Harris or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You talked more about how Ed Harris
sounds legit, because then people, right. I think they in their head they like remember that or something, and then they pick on that, even though it's usually there's not. But there has been a few, I think, where they do mention maybe a main character or something like that.
Yeah, it's happened where there's one of the actors gets mentioned, but it's not. You do normally have a format of saying like something about the opening or the production of it, shying away from the plot. Which interesting way to expose yourself here at the end of the week. But it was the movie that really took you over the top here, won you the day and the week. So congratulations there. Barely beating out Alphabot as well as Sackville Baggins. So congratulations are in order. What about, let's see, Baggins, you're coming in third here. Bongong does not mean a ceremonial Filipino wedding invitation. Where did that come from? And how did that start your day?
The whole day was a bit of a scramble. I was these were hard ones. I also feel like there's something about having that long string of text that's really hard to edit for trying to go for the more long. Like if I think the character limit's like 260 kind of tweet length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling.
You sure are. So let's go back to Harrison real quick. I have a question for you. If this IOU NFT, the 2 IOU NFTs you just won, if they say let's say they get into a $50,000 to $100,000 range valuation, are you going to use the sale or profits of one of those NFTs to produce Highballin' as a 1983 blaxploitation classic starring James Williams and Denzel Washington?
I think I might just do the straight up repeat. I don't think a white guy should be putting out a blaxploitation.
I just meant
probably
finance it. I didn't
in this era. I guess maybe I could finance it, but I think
put up one of the NFTs for the production. Studio.
The whole
production.
thing was like, I just knew I wanted to use the word black. I was thinking about what that word was, because I was trying to think of what are the, what are those movies called? I think that's what they're called.
That's what they're called. Yeah, it's a genre, indeed.
Yeah, of like the pimp and saying like jive turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so that's what you were going for.
And I don't think Denzel Washington is in any of them.
Right.
That was a risk too.
Well, and the risk reaped some rewards, at least for today. So that wraps up another round of the Clash of the Pencil. Or wait, this is Word Hoax. Wraps up another round of Word Hoax here, folks. So join us next week at the same time, same places, for a different hoax.